I've been wanting to talk about this game for weeks. Weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and this game is finally here. And I got my hands on it. I wanted to tell you guys what I really think about it. Since last year when they dropped that trailer, caught everyone's attention. They really hit home with the nostalgia crowd, and I can say they honestly did. So, is this game really worth your money? Is it really worth playing? Is it really worth picking up? Well, I'm going to dive deep into it. I'm going to tell you my thoughts from there, and we're going to go straight forward from this. Without wasting any more time, let's get straight to this review. After a roller coaster ride of mini games that released in the past that really wasn't good with the fan bases, is this game the long awaited answer for longtime fans? Well, let's talk about it. For starters, this game's been in development since 2015. Christian Whitehead, who's a project leader and programmer of this game, worked with two other developers such as Steph from Headcanon and a few other people from Pagoda West Games, as well as T. Lopes, who did the soundtrack. If you don't know who Christian Whitehead is, he is behind the mobile and updated ports of old Sonic games that have released in widescreen format using the retro engine. While making this game behind the scenes, Christian presented a prototype called Sonic Discovery to this producer. Now after seeing it, he changed the title to Sonic Mania with the statement, "By the media, for the media," wherever the hell that means. Yeah, this is pretty much how the game got greenlit. A bunch of die-hard Sonic fans making the game for the Sonic fans, which is pretty amazing. Now the game takes place after Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Sonic and Tails will travel into Angel Island to investigate a powerful energy source. So later discovered that Dr. Robotnik has sent his group of robotic henchmen called the Hard-Boiled Heavies to retrieve a Phantom Ruby Stone, in which they gain new abilities, which have sent Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles to the past as well as new locations to stop Dr. Robotnik and his evil plans. Now on their journey they discover Robotnik used the energy source to retake back control of the Little Big Planet, the Little Planet for Sonic CD. While on their journey they travel across the Titanic Monarch to defeat Robotnik and his henchmen, as well as escaping as soon as it explodes. With all 7 of the Chaos samples, Sonic goes into this void space to confront the Heavy King, who has finally betrayed Robotnik and taken the Ruby for himself for power, while Robotnik fights back to reclaim it, with Sonic transforming into his supersonic form to take them both down, in which the Ruby triggers a wormhole that sucks the stone as well as Sonic through it, with Tails and Knuckles in the distance watch as the little planet vanishes, with Sonic smiling in the distance. The end. For one, I really don't know why the hell Tails is happy. The ending made it seem like Sonic is dead. Secondly, are we just gonna pretend that Sonic did not get sucked into somewhere else? I mean, think about it. We don't know what the hell could have really happened to Sonic.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
Simply because you don't have evidence that something does exist does not mean that you have evidence that something doesn't exist.
A lot of fan theories and evidence suggest that classic Sonic got sucked into the world of Sonic Forces with the same pose and same movesets. Does this mean that Sonic Mania could be a prequel to Sonic Forces? Well, I guess we have to find out till November. At the start of this game, you either play with Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles. With Knuckles, his experience is a little bit different than the others. From this point on is where the gaming experience truly shines. Old school diehard fans might find it disappointing the fact that this game has the same levels from the original Sonic trilogy, but will also be surprised at how much of the level design has been remixed and changed up a bit. While some things may feel familiar, others not so much. There are about a dozen zones in this game, most of them being classic while the other some are new to the game. It was a real joyride playing these old levels for nostalgia, and I really do appreciate the fact that the devs surprised us with how much love and ambition they put into this game. For example, in Green Hill Zone, I love how they made this underground cave in it when it really wasn't in the original game, giving it some flavor added substance. As far as new zones go, I think they really fit well, and I didn't have any issues with the level design nor the encounters I come across. Some levels were fairly easy and at the same time were challenging, but it never took away from my overall experience. In terms of gameplay, this is without a doubt a callback to old school Sonic. The feel is absolutely precise with character movement and how much you control Sonic throughout. For the new things I noticed, Sonic has this new ability that is a drop dash after a jump. It helps with the pacing, however I really don't know is what I would use for speedruns since you run into walls or certain enemies that could hurt you. If you play any of the classic Sonic games on the Genesis, then you feel absolutely right at home with the latest installment that has everything from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, such as element shields, special stages, and music that really ramp things up after the first level of the zone. Now speaking of special stages, Blue Spirit stages are back, and this time they are not a reward for collecting Chaos Emeralds from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. This time they are a reward for collecting silver and gold coins to unlock more bonus material. Now for me, I remember my love-hate memories I had with these stages back in this day for how fast things ramped up the longer you collect spirits and coins. The thing is, you gotta collect all of the spirits in order to win, with a trick to do loops around the spirit patterns to trigger more rings to collect. There are plenty of these stages you can try out and replay. The only thing is, you have no choice but to play certain ones if you want to collect all those coins. The Chaos Emerald stages are another form of challenge just like the Blue Spirit stages. Similar to Sonic CD, instead of destroying UFOs to get a Chaos Emerald, you have to chase a UFO to get a Chaos Emerald. At first, it was a little bit tricky getting used to the controls, but after more experience, it's not so bad. I had a lot more fun on these stages than I did with Sonic CD. In this mode, you have to collect all of the blue spirits to fill up your meter to boost up your speed. The faster you go, the more tricky it is to do turns. What I like to do is jump around when it comes to sharp turns to keep myself in balance and try not to fall off the platform, because it do get annoying after a while. Collecting rings serves at your time, and this mode wouldn't be a challenge if there wasn't any bombs and traps that get in your way. Anything is better than these stages to replay on. And as for the other characters, whenever I play the character's Tails, I never really have a good time with him like I did with the originals. He's still the same old Tails that lacks mobility whenever it comes to flying with his tail. Knuckles, on the other hand, he's pretty challenging to play as. However, I do find some of his levels enjoyable to play on, to take a break from high-speed gameplay to explore areas for goodies and secrets. Out of all of the new zones, Mirage Saloon Zone is my favorite, with Press Garden being my second. For starters, I'm not really a fan of these R-type flying missions that Sonic starting out, but if it wasn't for the soundtrack, it would have been meh. That's not to say the level is bad, because the level is pretty good. I'm just nitpicking because I'm just not a fan of these types of levels. The second act ramped things up with the music being on point with everything going on as well as the vibe. It's just so jazzy. Here, take a listen. Even with Knuckles getting knocked off the platform at the start, his own level of music is pretty cool in his own right. Press Garden Zone is my second favorite as well. The first act is cool, being in a newspaper factory with a lot going on in the background, as well as these new enemy types such as these crabs. The second act really ramped things up, only this time you're in a snowy level with an atmosphere that is beautiful. However, there are some obstacles that can be somewhat annoying, just like being frozen and bouncing around like a sliding bar of soap. As for the whole level design is set for all the zones, none of which are boring in my honest opinion, and they can all be memorized the more you play. As for the boss encounters, for the most part they're all pretty easy except for a couple at the very end. That isn't to say they aren't fun, because they really are, just a simple way of figuring things out. My favorite boss encounter is the Puya Puya boss fight with Eggman, which is a reference against Dr. Robotnik's mean beam machine from a long time ago. Each encounter got more and more interesting the more I play, and I think for old and new fans they will be disappointed. As for the extra content, fans will be thrilled with how much more content this game has to offer to unlock for free, such as Mean Beam, Blue Spears with a mania twist that really makes the levels hard, a soundtrack guarding, and so much more. Now as for my nitpicks, whenever you collect 50 rings after collecting the emeralds, if you want to do an air ability, you can't because it makes you super. I always felt that there should be a separate button function for that control so that players can use it when they need it and not immediately because of button mistake. For the last thing, this game does have a time attack mode as well as the 2-player competition mode, but I really don't care for them much because I don't have any friends to play with. Now for the positives, the animation is spot on. I mean, look at how many frames were put into this intro, the gameplay, and just the little things that matter. I gotta give props to Christian's retro engine for a spectacular experience. The soundtrack is amazing. T-Lopes, he really did his thing, putting his heart and soul into this masterpiece in my opinion. I just want to know when the soundtrack is coming out because I would buy it without a doubt. But for the gameplay as a whole, it's the best of the game in my opinion. After a roller coaster ride of many games ever released in the past that seem to anger the fan bases, is this game the answer for longtime fans? Yes and no. Yes, in terms that this is for the nostalgic crowd who want to relive the old experiences from the Golden Age era, and no for some of the same crowd who feel that this game didn't do much of anything new from the gameplay as well as the new few levels. But at the end, the game as a whole is fun nonetheless. For the price of $20, I think you're getting your money's worth. And that pretty much wraps up this review of Sonic Mania. My goodness, man. This game is probably one of the best games I have played from the Sonic franchise in a while. And that really says a lot because from a, Sega giving the fans a chance to make games for fans is really amazing. It's cool. Anyways, enough of that. If you enjoyed the review, guys, please do me a favor, hit the like button. I greatly appreciate it. I really do. Hit the subscribe button if you really want to see more videos come out. I put them out once they're done, and I just go from there. Share the video with your friends and family, man. I mean, I really appreciate that. Comment what you think. Tell me what you think of the review. Was it helpful for you? Did it give you a better insight what this game is about? I really want to know. Please let me know. Well, I'm willing to have a discussion and go from there. But for everyone else, thank you for coming by to check this video out. Hope you have an awesome day, and y'all stay blessed out there. Peace.